So we are creeping on 6 months without our son after his passing. It's been hard. It's been super hard. And the last week or so we have caught a flu, and when you're home and you're going stir crazy, it really takes a toll on you. But God works in always mysterious ways. So something happened to us last night, which I do plan on getting into. But first I want to talk a bit about multiple things that have been happening to me specifically. I'm going to start by saying I have always had a very strong sense and faith into the afterlife. I've always had this deeper knowing, and even as a child I have had things appear to me or have seen things, but as we age and we get busy in life, majority of us disconnect from our spiritual side. However, that side has never fully left me. I've always been a type of person that I am somehow always put in situations of the right place, right time to save. And for some examples, I've been in situations where there's a car accident ahead of us and we have to pull over, and we are the first ones there and we help save these people. I've been in numerous situations like that, or I've been driving and I've seen somebody collapse and I'm the only one around, and I pull over and assist and call 911. It just has always been something that has happened to me. I've just been there, and I think that's God working through people that he knows would stop and help. You know, I've also been in situations where there's lots of people around and no one's helping. They just keep driving. So I think God knows that I am the type of person that would help. And again, this is not like to gloat or bloat or anything like that. It's just who I am as an individual. And God works through us for our special talents. Everybody. He works through everybody. So obviously, since even going back, to say 5 years ago, our dog died, and we loved him so much. He was with us since the kids were young. And after he died, I seen him in our house for weeks. I would see him walk by the door. Of course, it's not a physical being like us, but it's like almost a shadow-ish, but you know it's them. Like I seen him lying on my kid's bed. He was around. Outside of that, I feel like I have a very intuitive knowing. I always see the numbers 444. I have always been into signs like that and can recognize them. However, since my son passed 6 months ago, it's now not a belief. It's a deep knowing. It's something that I no longer question, because the evidence that I have been given is just beyond what I could have even imagined. So after Roman passed away, you know, the first few weeks he was here. There was a night where I fell asleep on the couch. It was probably one of the first nights that I was able to sleep. And I felt him. I physically felt him on the couch with me, and we slept for hours together. And my mom was sleeping next to me, and she woke up and she said, "Amanda, you were sleeping with Roman, weren't you?" And I said, "How do you know that?" And she goes, "I could see it on your face. You were in pure bliss." So we have had so many signs, like from lights going on and off, to TV things, to us finding things in the house, to things popping up on the TV. The nature signs, they're huge. We've had so many nature signs. We've had dreams, and I don't want to take that away, because honestly, I love that, and I'm so grateful that we are able to see that and connect. So I don't want to play lightly, but I want to talk about stuff that goes even beyond the natural signs. We can show you those signs, and I'm sure we'll make another podcast video about those signs, because they are beautiful and real, and we do have evidence of them. But these signs I want to talk about are actually divine intervention. This is not just a sign that their loved ones are there. It's a sign that Our loved ones are working through us here, now, physically. They are on the other side, but they are using us as tools if we allow them to. So, I feel really blessed because I've kind of always had that path. But now it's just something that's way beyond. It's like I'm so connected. I am detached from, I would say, like the physical world. And I'm very into spiritual and connecting with my son. Of course, anybody that would be in my situation would try to find where their kid is. So let's get started on some stories here. I'm just gonna look at my phone because I don't want to forget any. So just bear with me for 1 second. I just wrote down little blimps of them so I could remember each and every single one. Okay, so I really want you guys to understand too that the past 6 months has been the worst time of my life. And I'm not joking. Like I have always had struggles in life. I feel like we have had a lot of blessings, but our life has never been easy. It has been challenged since Ryan and I were kids. We both have went through a lot in life, even with our children. We have been in the hospital for 4 or 5 months at times, 4 or 5 weeks at times with Bella when she was a baby, and it was just hard. Everything was hard. That doesn't mean that there wasn't life's blessing, but it was. But this last 6 months has tested everything in me to want to be here, to want to keep going. And it's hard, and I wish that this wasn't our path, but it is. But nonetheless, we still have to be here, and that's not in our choice and in our control, so we're going to keep going for Bella. And as painful as the last 6 months has been, what I really want people to understand is like, I'm not living yet. I'm going home and going to work because financially I have to. I don't have a choice. And I don't feel like I'm living yet. I come home and I'm just, with my kids. I'm with Roman still, and I'm with Bella, and I'm trying to be the best mom that I can still be. So I really need people to understand that I'm not looking or like trying to be immersed in life, but yet God is still finding a way to have people come to us, and Roman have people come to us that we can help. So I just want to give you some background things that have happened to me personally that are extremely validating on the things that I'm going to tell you. So I've been meditating a lot. I sit down and I take deep breaths, and I try to drop any thoughts, and I just ask for whatever I need in that moment. And I really try to ask Jesus, God, let light love in. Selfishly, I'm always wanting Roman, but there's been times that it's somebody else. So my intuition is very strong right now, and I'm very, very clear-headed. So this one meditation, I was all of a sudden put into, again, you have to say like I'm sitting here meditating, so this is not physically me going, just so people understand. It's in your mind's eye or your soul connection. I'm sitting and I'm meditating, and I'm in a very deep, peaceful trance. And all of a sudden I'm in this field, and it's all yellow flowers, and there's green evergreens and bushes and a spring and mountains and a sun, and it is just beautiful. The temperature's perfect. Like I could feel myself like almost in a sundress flowy type, and all of a sudden Roman's at my hand. And he smiles at me, he hugs me, he says he loves me, he's okay. He always tells me he's okay and he's happy. And we played card games, which we did here. We loved playing games with one another. And we read a book, and we talked, and we sat in the flowers, and he was hopping in the creek, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, fast forward a couple days after that, my mom's friend, it's her best lifelong friend and someone I consider a second mom, says, I left something at your door. So I go to the door, I open it, and she's been working on this painting for weeks. And I didn't tell anybody about my vision outside of, or what happened during my meditation outside of Ryan. So I open this painting and it is exactly where I was. Exactly. And there is no way to explain that. She had no idea. She said she's just painted what she felt, and she was working on it with weeks without telling anybody, and it was exactly yellow flowers, just beautiful. It was paradise. It's heaven. And having that picture come to life from somebody else's eyes is just a confirmation. Another time I found myself, I was meditating in our sauna, and I was in a very deep state again. This time I was in, all of a sudden, Roman's bedroom as it is now, and I knew he was no longer with us. And that morning I was just lying in his bedroom crying and thinking of him and laying in his bed, and then I went into the sauna to meditate. And so when I was sat back in his bed, it was exactly as it was. The sheets were the same, they were unmade, everything was as it is right now. And Roman appeared to me on my left, and he just leaned into me and he smiled up at me, and you know, it's all love when he comes. And all of a sudden there was this gentleman to my left, and I felt like I knew him, but I didn't really know him. So I asked Roman, I said, Roman, who is this? I'm confused. And all of a sudden it was Ryan's dad, so Roman's grandpa. And Ryan's dad passed away when he was 27 years old, so obviously I didn't get to meet him, but I've always felt like I would have loved him, because from the videos that his family has shared with us, he was similar to us, like very down to earth, humble, cool dude, funny, charismatic. And he's the twin of Ryan, like Ryan's the spit out of his mouth. And so that's how I knew who it was. And I said, oh wow, Steve. And he said, Amanda, Roman's being very well taken care of. And he smiled at me and said, we're having fun. And then they were gone. So in my mind, in the sauna, I come out of this state and I'm already like, okay, am I telling myself this stuff because I want to, right? Because that's a very realistic question. Like, am I putting all this stuff in my head because it's exactly what I want? I want my kid to be okay. I want him to be with people he loves. I want him to be able to come to me. So before I opened my eyes, I said, Roman, if this is true, I need like a hardcore evidential sign. And I hate to ask for that, but I just need it. And sure enough, I open my eyes and I'm in the sauna, and as clear as day, this image appears. It obviously appeared when I was meditating, but I open my eyes and it's there. And we have been doing sweaters for Roman. He made this logo back in 2019, and he said he wanted to start a logo company. So for that Christmas, I made him a sweater with his logo in it, and he loved it. So my daughter had an idea of, why don't we make sweaters for Roman with his logo? And it has been beautiful. So many people have ordered them. There's been hundreds of orders. And that very day, I was getting the first batch of orders. I opened my eyes, and as clear as day, Roman's logo is there. Again, insane. I'm like, is this for real? I automatically take a picture of it on my phone and I put it side by side to his logo, and the similarities are undeniable. So he's thanking everybody that has gotten the sweaters, but it's just confirmation that what I'm doing and experiencing is not fake. Okay, so beyond these personal signs, back in December, we did a huge Christmas fundraiser for Roman in his honor. It was massive. We had hundreds of Amazon boxes coming in daily, hundreds of people dropping off stuff at the store, at the spa that I own, hundreds of people dropping stuff off here at the door, all in Roman's name, but for other children. And it was just something that, you know, really changed our Christmas experience this year, because of course it's going to be so hard every year, but this year especially, not having Roman walk down those stairs. I don't want to cry. But it was so beautiful to have those kids have a Christmas, and a special one. And it was all of Roman's doing, along with so many beautiful people that helped. Whew, okay. Anyways, back to the Christmas story. So we're doing the fundraiser, and it's a lot of work because I am exhausted in December. Like for 3 months, I couldn't get up off the couch. I literally could not even do a dish. So I pulled myself to do this fundraiser, and it was a lot, and we did have a lot of help, but I did a lot on my own with some close family. Prior to that, this medium, she resides in Halifax. She does not know us at all. She knows somebody that knows us that knows us. So there's zero relation, really. She was been wanting to connect with me. So before the Christmas, like I'm gonna say mid-December, I finally agreed to hop on a call with her. Now, I know mediums are very controversial, and that is something that we can chat about in another video, but my beliefs is that God gives gifts to people, and I've been experiencing them firsthand myself, and I know some people say that it's like dark or evil, but the only thing that I've experienced is light, love, and healing, and I know that in life, there's light and dark in everything, and I think that can be true in spirituality. I think that can be true in religion. I think that it can be true in people. So I personally, I use discernment with everything, including religion, all of it. But I personally believe that there is people that are gifted with these gifts on earth. So we can chat about that more in another video. But what I was saying is this medium and I finally connected, and she brought through everything with Roman 1010%. Even during our Zoom call, she's writing down on a piece of paper, I'm holding my phone on the sides, and this huge thumbs up pops up in the screen. And I said to her, did you see that? And she's like, see what? She was down writing, a lot of mediums write. And she said no, and I was recording the call. So later I went back, and sure enough, there's a huge thumbs up in the middle of the screen, and Roman's known for his thumbs up. At his funeral, the teachers and everybody that was there when the casket drove off, the hearse drove off, gave Roman's a thumbs up, and he was holding a thumbs up in many, many pictures. So just another confirmation. But besides that, she brought through hard factual evidence that only Roman would know and only that we would know. And the beauty about it was things that we were currently doing, things that we have done in the past, but things that we were doing right now since Roman's passed, which proved to me that Roman is still with us. So she told me, Roman is gonna send a little boy to you to help. I don't know what you're doing in his honor, but he said, this little boy is gonna help, he wants you to help this little boy specifically. Then she kept talking and we were talking about different things. And then she goes, he's saying the name, do you know that? And I said, no, I don't know anybody named, that he had a best friend named Anson. She goes, nope, it's not Anson, and she goes, just think about it, something might happen with it. And I said, okay, not thinking much about it. I'm like, they can be wrong in some things. That day, I go to Roman Cemetery. We call it his Garden of Love. We go every day. And I'm sitting there. And as I'm sitting there, I get a text message from an old friend I went to high school with. And she said, hey, Amanda, I know you're doing this fundraiser. I work at a school here. And there's this little boy. He's in a wheelchair. He has a really hard home life. Is there anything that you guys can help with? And I said, yeah, for sure. Send me his like wish list or what he would be into. And we made a huge box. We made it really extra special for this kid. Tons of toys, loaded them up as high as we could. So that week we go to the school to drop them off for this little boy. And the principal comes out and is thanking us. And he goes, is gonna be so happy. And we're like, Aaron? I said, little boy named that we're supposed to help, like it all worked full circle. These are just undeniable things that have been happening, that it's no doubt about it that they are trying to get through to us and trying to work through us. So again, divine intervention, but I still have way more. Now, this other story is utterly heartbreaking, and like my heart shatters for this family because I know the pain that they're in. everybody's pain is unique and different, but I know the pain of not having the person you love so much here physically. And this story is a story about a family, and I grew up with this person's niece. She was a good friend of mine. She unfortunately passed away, but we grew up together like grade 2 to 6 before she moved away, and she was my best friend. And her family has always just been on my Facebook. We haven't really stayed in contact too much, but they've been Facebook friends of ours. And so my friend's aunt messaged me and said that they've been following Roman's story and are touched by it, and she's been reading the Bible lately, and she said that she wanted to get back involved in church. She hasn't been in many years, and she was just asking me if I could give her some information. So I said, well, it's actually Lent this week, and it's a beautiful time to start coming back to the church. And it was actually Ash Wednesday, and so I said there is an Ash Wednesday Mass at 7 p.m. at our local church here. And so we're sitting there, and I see my friend's aunt and her daughter, which is older. They're there, and they walk up, and usually I have my head down during communion, but for some reason I looked up and I seen them, and I was like, wow, that's so beautiful that they're there, and they were smiling. And so I messaged her later, and I just said, it was really nice to see you in church. And she said, I haven't felt that close to God in a long time. It was nice to be there. And unfortunately, just days later, her grandson and her daughter's son tragically passed away at the age of 14. And it's devastating. And as much as I wish that obviously that never happened for this family, I wish it never had to happen for any families. The truth is that God showed up. God shows up before. It's like this is written in stone, and I know that some people don't believe in fate or destiny, but the more facts that I see and the more evidence that I get, it's exactly that. It's like God knew to put us back together so that she could find him, so that he can be of strength for her during this time. And then we were able to support the family a bit after this horrendous news. We were able to show up for them and do try to help in whatever way we can. You can't really help in these situations, but you can help by showing up. You can help by being supportive. You can help by showing you are with them in solidarity. So again, God working in that way to bring us to them, somebody that's going to be dealing with a similar situation as us, and bringing them back to God. Now, this last story actually just happened last night, and I've been pretty heavy this week. It's creeping up on Roman's 6 months, which is just it's a very realistic time period. I feel like 6 months is it's a milestone. And I was sick with a cold, so I couldn't leave my house. I was down on the couch even longer, and I was low. I've been very, very low. And I didn't sleep at all the night before, at all. I think the last time I looked at the clock, it was 6 a.m, and I slept for an hour. And anyways, besides the point, Ryan and I were sitting on the couch last night, and it was around 8 o'clock at night. We were already in our pajamas, and I was like, I'm going to bed in 20 minutes. I'm done. And somebody knocks at the door, and honestly, I told Ryan, I'm like, don't answer it. I'm tired. I can't with people right now. And he's like, no, I'm getting something delivered or something, so I'm going to answer it. I was like, okay. So he goes down and he answers it, and I hear him, and he says, yeah, hun, come in. And I'm like, what the heck? So I get up and I go down the stairs, and it's this little girl. And I'm like, how can we help you? And she said, I'm not going to get into detail, but she said that she's pretty distressed and needing some severe help. And just this alone, I'm already like, whoa, what's happening here? So this little girl comes upstairs. We sit her in our kitchen, and we offer her a drink. We're talking to her. We're trying to give her some hope. We're trying to give her some love. We're trying to give her some light. Oh, somebody's knocking at my door now. Anyways, I'm going to continue on and hope that that's not somebody that needs help. Anyways, so now she's in our kitchen and we're trying to help this little girl. She's giving us some information. It's very alarming information. And she tells us she's 13, Roman's age. Another gut punch to my stomach. And I'm like, what is going on here? So she asked us to take her to the police station. We put her in the car. We drive her to the police station. She said she's not comfortable in going in. She asked if I could go in and explain the situation to them. Of course, we asked her if she wanted to go home first because I felt very weird about this, but I wanted to help and she just did not want to go home. So we decided, okay, the police station it is. So I step out of the car, but before I do, I said, okay, hon, I need your first and last name so I can explain to the police. This little girl says her first and last name. My heart automatically sinks in my chest. This little girl went to school with Roman. Now, I need people to understand that we don't live in the school area. We're not even walking distance, really. It's probably a 20-30 minute walk to the school for kids. We're not there. We live in a subdivision. Our house is not one off by itself. We have neighbors everywhere. This little girl knocks on our door. There's no way she knows who we are. No way she knows where we live at all. This little girl is a child that literally Roman struggled with. I mean, he would come home crying because of this little girl. And I don't want to bash her because it's very clear to see that she has a hard life. Let's just say that. But the fact of the matter is this little girl is a little girl that literally physically, mentally, and emotionally hurt Roman, that is showing up at our door and asking us for help. Now, of course, we would never turn anybody away. I don't even imagine how people could. Would be evil. But the fact that this little girl is that little girl, my heart and my face literally dropped to the floor. And what we got out of that, immediately what I got out of that was that God is sending people to us to help, and Roman is too. He's sending us people his age. He's sending us people that need guidance and help and love. And we did that. And then Isabella, our daughter, comes home and we explain the situation. She knows this little girl and she has the perspective of forgiveness, that we need to forgive that little girl for doing that, or for people that did hurt Roman. And she also said that maybe Roman needed to forgive her too. And now that he can see everything, sees how much help this little girl needs. And we are the people to do that. And then this morning, Ryan texts me saying, there's times, of course, every parent feels this way, but in our situation, you feel it more, is that there's times that you literally feel like you've been a bad parent, and not to the degree of that type of parenting, but the degree of we work too much, or we could have sat down and played that game with them that one time, or, these little things. Even though we are so loving, have done everything for our kids, we are always with our kids. Anybody that knows us knows we're with our kids. Even if they don't have kids, we have our kids. And he said, I think that God also sent that little girl for me to know that we are loving parents, and just to show that there's kids out there that don't have that. And that breaks my heart and it shatters me. But it's just God working in ways again to help us help people. But not only that, it's helping us too. And all I can ask and choose to do is keep walking in that path and that light, because it makes me feel very connected to God and to my son. But it's the way that we should be living as humans. And I just feel grateful for that. So this video is a video of hope. This video is a video of love. Love people, forgive people, spread hope, and honestly slow down and connect. This is not just for people that have lost somebody, but if you have lost somebody, this is just hard evidence that there is life after this. They live on, they are around us. But for people that are maybe even going through illnesses, sickness, feel like they might be on their way to dying, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of death around us right now. Don't be scared. It's God's will, it's God's way, and there's nothing that we can do but accept that. And God has a bigger plan, but he shows up. He still shows up. And they are okay. Roman shows me it all the time. He's happy. I wish that it was still with us. If I could do anything, he'd be back with me. But I have to accept that he is fighting hard to show us that there's more. And I have to accept that. And besides that, it's a message of just spreading love to people, slowing down, being in the moment, and accepting that this is all around us. The world needs light right now. It's heavy. There's a weird shift happening. And we all need to understand that like this temporary, superficial thing is not what's real. So I hope that this message helped anybody that could have needed it, needs to hear it. God bless the people that I spoke about in this video, you know, especially the little boy that's in heaven right now, I know, with Roman and his family to get through this. And God bless that little girl that knocked on my door. May she find the light, and may she be guided to, you know, salvation and hope. Okay, guys, I hope that this helped. It really helps me because, of course, I want to know that there's more, and I know fully there is. It's in my heart. Let us know if you've ever had any crazy experiences with the afterlife, any things that happen for you that are really, really deep and hard evidence, and we'd love to share them. And if you have any questions for me about what I do or how I meditate or anything, any specific signs, I'd love to share them. But we are hoping to get back on our podcast train now that the illness has faded, and just spread our story and Roman's life with you guys.